I want to give a shout out to all my patrons first. Thank you so much my Bibliosprand, Bibliohowler, and Bibliomancer, and my new Bibliomancer, Brett. Thank you so much for supporting my hobby and passion even more. It means a lot to me. Hi everyone, Patrick here. Welcome to SFF Spotlight episode 18. Yes, today's video will be the last SFF Spotlight for this year. The next SFF Spotlight episode will take place after we're inside the year 2023. And I just want to say thank you so much to all of you who keep watching this series of videos on my channel. And for those of you who are new to watching this is a series of videos where I will be talking about new book cover reveals, new book news, new special edition, and new noteworthy release in the adult science fiction and fantasy genre. And yeah, let's begin. It seems like Henry Cavill has been undergoing a lot of turmoil in his career lately. First, he's out of the Witcher TV show adaptation, and then he's invited back to play as Superman, but now he's out of playing as Superman. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It seems like Henry Cavill is determined to make sure a Warhammer 40K adaptation happens. And this is what Henry said on his Instagram. For 30 years, I have dreamt of seeing a Warhammer universe in live action. Now, after 22 years of experience in this industry, I finally feel that I have the skill set and experience to guide a Warhammer cinematic universe into life. Partnering with Natalie Viscuso at Vertigo has been a blessing beyond words. Without her, we might not have found the perfect home at Amazon. And having a home like Amazon will give us the freedom to be true to the massive scope of Warhammer. To all of you Warhammer fans out there, I promise to respect this IP that we love. I promise to bring you something familiar, and I endeavor to bring you something fantastic that is, as of yet, unseen. Our first steps are to find our filmmaker, creator, writer. Watch this space, my friends, for the Emperor. So maybe everything is a blessing in disguise. Now, I haven't read any Warhammer book yet, but I know that this is such a massive science fiction universe and it is immensely popular. I did play some Warhammer video games, but that's pretty much all my knowledge on the series. I really should try reading the books. I'm excited about this adaptation, but at the same time, I'm also a bit worried because this is, well, produced by Amazon. And Amazon adapted The Wheel of Time and also the Rings of Power. Both of them have been pretty disappointing in my opinion. So I guess we'll find out. Hopefully Henry Cavill will be able to make sure that the Warhammer cinematic universe can go well. At the very least, I know that he's very passionate about this. And it's not only live action movie that is getting some big spotlight here. The next spotlight goes to Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. So the Season 2 for the anime adaptation of Jujutsu Kaisen, the release date has been announced. And it's confirmed that Season 2 will premiere in July 2023. And I am super excited about this one. I've read what's going to happen in Season 2 and I'm pretty sure that the anime will be even better than the manga. I like the manga. I'm caught up with reading all the manga volumes, but I have to say that so far, I love the anime adaptation more. Studio Mappa did such an excellent job in adapting Jujutsu Kaisen, and Jujutsu Kaisen 0 is probably my favorite anime movie of the year. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to watching this when it's premiered. And speaking of Season 2, the trailer for the second season of Vinland Saga is also out, and the release date for the second season to begin is the 9th of January, so the month of my birthday, and you bet I will be watching this one. Vinland Saga is one of my favorite manga, and I love the season 1 of the anime adaptation as well. So that's it for the live action and anime spotlight. Let's talk about books now. And it seems like Matthew Stover has finally confirmed that his current project is apparently a continuation to the Axe of Caine quartet. Matthew Woodring Stover recently tweeted this: "My current project is a multi-thread story cycle following various characters across multiple universes in the aftermath of Caine's Law, notionally organized under the rubric of the Age of Caine." I think if you're a fan of Heroes Die and also the series The Axe of Caine, I think this is a big news. I love Heroes Die. Heroes Die is one of my favorite books. But as I mentioned on my channel before, I wasn't ready to jump into The Blade of Tyshel. I tried reading The Blade of Tyshel, but it was so different from Heroes Die. It was super different, and I probably will try reading it again someday, but I don't think that this will be happening anytime soon. But if you still haven't read The Axe of Caine yet, I definitely at least recommend you to read Heroes Die, despite the absolutely ugly cover art. You know I will be talking about this cover art always every time I talk about this book. The next spotlight is for the release date of the second book in the Tales of Tremaine by R.R. Virdi. So the second book is slated to be released on October 3rd, 2023. Now this is good news, but I think what's even more awesome about this news is how RRVD actually utilized the Fullmetal Alchemist meme into this release date. Now, if you have watched or if you have read the Fullmetal Alchemist, you will know the significance of the date October 3rd. And I think because the second book in the Tales of Tremaine is being released on, well, October 3rd, I think this is such a great usage of the meme. And moving on to the next spotlight, it's not only Tales of Tremaine that is getting an update. Apparently, Ryan Cahill just announced the title for the fourth book in the Bound and the Broken series, and it is called Of Empires and Dust. And it seems like the color for this one will be purple. And I think this is a great title. Plus, this announcement will certainly vanish the notion from plenty of readers who thought that The Bound and the Broken will be a trilogy. It's not a trilogy. I think since the beginning, Ryan Cahill has mentioned that The Bound and the Broken will at least be a quartet, but this time he has confirmed plenty of times that The Bound and the Broken will be a 5-book series. And recently, he just finished writing the third book. It is big. It's 432,000 words, and it will probably be cut a bit because he's currently in, I think, editing stage, but he's pretty close to being done. And the release date for the third book of War and Ruin is January 19, 2023. So yeah, less than a month from now. And moving on to the next spotlight, this will be for Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree, specifically the sequel to Legends and Lattes. So Travis Baldree has announced that the sequel will be titled Bookshops and Bone Dust. But this is not technically a sequel, even though, well, it is published after Legends and Lattes, but the story will take place 20 years before the events of Legends and Lattes. If you have watched my favorite standalone video, well, Legends and Latte is one of my favorite standalone books now. I think this one will be another standalone book. And Travis Baldree has also revealed some of the character art for the sequel, Bookshops and Bone Dust. And just from these artworks alone, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to love the characters. Again, just like I did with the characters of Legends and Lattes. I look forward to the release of this one as well. Now moving on to the next topic, let's talk about special editions. The first one will be for Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson. Now this is not the Dragon's Tail Leatherbound edition. Do not worry on that. As Brandon Sanderson said, the Leatherbound edition for Words of Radiance, the Kickstarter campaign will begin on March 2023. So yeah, 3 months from now, and I'm sure there will be some more news and hype for it. But this is for the Fairyloot edition for Words of Radiance. So this is a continuation from their own edition for the Way of Kings. So it looks nice, but well, I must say that I'm not getting this edition because I already own the hardcover, and as far as I know, I don't think there is any bonus inside this special edition except that, well, it has a golden spray edges, and I think that's it. I am currently, as you can probably predict, saving up in preparation for Words of Radiance Kickstarter campaign. And speaking of Kickstarter edition, the next spotlight will be for Mother of Learning by Nobody 102. Just a reminder that the Kickstarter page for Mother of Learning Arc 2 signed paperback and hardcover is up now. Now the Kickstarter campaign will begin in the month of January, but just in case, I thought I might as well remind you about it now. And yeah, I'm still in the middle of waiting for this hardcover to arrive at my place. It is on the way to me right now, and if you watch my Priority Series video, then you will know that The Mother of Learning by Nobody 103 or Domagoj Kurmak is one of my Priority Series to start and finish next year. I'm so looking forward to reading this series. I've heard nothing but great things about it. And the next spotlight will be for Forge of Darkness by Steven Erikson. Subterranean Press has confirmed that they are currently working on producing a special edition for the Forge of Darkness. If you're someone who are into epic fantasy special edition, then you will probably know that Malazan Book of the Fallen Subterranean Press Edition are some of the most coveted and expensive special editions right now, and for quite a while, really. And now it seems like they have finally confirmed that they are working on Forge of Darkness and most likely the Fall of Light as well. And the cover art has been revealed. The cover art is done by Grant Griffin, and yeah, it looks nice. I'm not really sure yet on when you can pre-order this. If I find out about it, I will let you know in an episode of SFF Spotlight. And also, speaking of Subterranean Press, the next Spotlight is a simple one, but this will be a giveaway for a special edition for the Jade Setter of Janloon by Fonda Lee. Well, not technically special edition, but the Jade Setter of Janloon is one of my favorite novellas now, and this is a prequel to the main Greenbone Saga series. I already own the Subterranean Press edition for this one, so I don't think I will be joining the giveaway. So if you want to join this giveaway, I really don't see why you don't want to join the giveaway. So if you want to join the giveaway, make sure to check out Subterranean Press Instagram page. And then for the next spotlight, The Broken Binding has announced their edition in collaboration with Daphne Press for The Art of Prophecy by Wesley Chu. I think this edition looks absolutely stunning, and I heard plenty of great things about this book from Elliot Brooks and also Brenda from Bookstagram and also plenty other reviewers, and it's kind of a shame that I still haven't read this one, even though I really love the cover art to this, and I tend to love wuxia or Asian inspired fantasy. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed I can get a copy of this one from The Broken Binding, because yeah, this one looks amazing. One of their best editions so far. And finally, the last special edition for today's SFF Spotlight video will be for the Darkwater Legacy by Chris Wooding. And again, this is the Broken Binding edition. I already own a hardcover copy of the Ember Blade, and I will be doing a reread of the Ember Blade next month. And I am so excited about the release of the Shadow Casket, and this special edition comes with a naked hardcover cover art and also spray edges, and finally beautiful and paper. And now let's move on to the next topic. Let's talk about cover reveals, and the first one will be for Lord of Uncreation by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This is the third and final book in the final Architecture trilogy, and personally speaking, out of the entire trilogy, the cover art to the Lord of Uncreation is the best one of them all. I think, look at that, it is so badass. But it is kind of unfortunate that I do not think the cover art or the cover design, the cover artist or the cover design has been announced yet. I hope that it will be revealed eventually, because well, whoever they are, they did a great job in this cover art. I've read some sci-fi books by Adrian Tchaikovsky, and mostly I enjoyed them, especially The Children of Time and also The Doors of Eden. I love them both, and I hope that the final Architecture trilogy, when I eventually get around to it, will be even better than, well, the books that I've read from Adrian Tchaikovsky. And the next cover reveal is for Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. It has been revealed that the US trade paperback edition for Mistborn will be getting a new cover art early next year, illustrated by Danny Schultz. I think this cover art looks really good. In my opinion, the one done by John Foster for the US hardcover edition is still better, but this one is better than the current US trade paperback and mass market paperback cover art. So if you're someone who's been waiting to get yourself a beautiful copy of the Mistborn trilogy, it won't be long before you can get it. And the next spotlight will be for the cover reveal of Dragon of Fate by Margaret Weis. This is the second volume in the Dragonlance Destiny series. So the cover art is done by Philippa Urlich, and Philippa Urlich did a lot of amazing artwork. I highly recommend you to check out the artist's portfolio. But for this book or this series, I think some of you know that I haven't read any book in the Dragonlance series. None of them. And maybe someday I will give it a try, but if you expect me, if you're looking forward to me reviewing Dragonlance, I do not think that it will be happening anytime soon. I still have so many books on my TBR pile that I want to get to first. And the next cover reveal is for The Jasad Heir by Sarah Masham. This is a debut novel published by Orbit Books, slated to be released next year. The cover art is done by Mike Heath, and also the cover design is done by Lisa Marie Pompilio. I think this one is supposedly a political epic fantasy debut, and the author is writing this book to answer the question, what do you owe to a place and a people you've barely known but without whom you wouldn't exist. The cover art looks really good, and I tend to love new books published by Orbit Books, so I will keep an eye out on this one. And finally, the last cover reveals will be for two books immediately, and these are for the hardcover edition for the fourth and fifth book in the War Eternal series by Rob J. Hayes. The fourth book is The Sins of the Mother, and the fifth book is Death's Beating Heart. And just like the standard edition, and just like the cover art for the standard edition, whether it's the ebook, the Kindle edition, or the paperback edition, these are once again done by Felix Ortiz and designed by Sean King, and they look absolutely outstanding. I mean, look, I've praised Felix Ortiz for years now, and even then I'm still just so impressed with this one. The cover art for the entire series, for the War Eternal series, whether it's the paperback edition or the hardback edition, but especially the hardback edition, I think are some of the best cover art that I've seen. I haven't read this series yet though, and hopefully one day I can get to it, hopefully soon. And fingers crossed I will end up living this one, maybe even more than Mortal Technique series by Rob J. Hayes. And now we move on to the last topic of SFF Spotlight, and that's to talk about new noteworthy release. And for this particular episode, I only have two new noteworthy releases to talk about, and the first one is Dawn Race by Josh Erikson. This is the fourth book in the Ethereal Earth series, and Ethereal Earth is very underrated. It is a criminally underrated urban fantasy series. I really really enjoyed the first 3 books in the series. And if you're someone who's been craving a great urban fantasy series after you're done with reading, let's say, the Dresden Files by Jim Butcher, well, you should definitely take a look into Ethereal Earth series. It is a great urban fantasy series, and the audiobook is actually done by the author himself. I'm not an audiobook user, but so many readers have mentioned just how good the audiobook is. And finally, the last noteworthy release and also the last topic on today's SFF Spotlight video will be for Ashes of Man by Christopher Ruocchio. So this one, Ashes of Man, is the 5th and the penultimate installment in the Sun Eater series by Christopher Ruocchio. And I think some of you, if you have watched my priority series video, just like Mother of Learning, this is another one of my priority series to start and finish next year. I already mentioned Ashes of Man in my previous SFF Spotlight video, but apparently when I did that episode, the US edition of Ashes of Man isn't out yet, but this time both US and UK editions are out. And right now I'm waiting for the hardcover edition, the US hardcover edition for Ashes of Man that I pre-ordered to arrive, and I look forward to reading the entire series next year. Enough postponing, I am so looking forward to reading it next year. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me today. This is the end of SFF Spotlight episode 18, and I cannot believe that I have done 18 episodes of SFF Spotlight. It is amazing. And the stats for this series of videos on my channel have been consistently good. Thank you to all of you who keep on watching this series of videos. It means a lot to me that you get something out of this series of videos, because they're not the easiest kind of videos to do. I have to always keep track of every news and make sure to note them down. And if plenty of you actually get benefit out of this series of videos, well, I'm happy. So yeah, that's it for me today. Do let me know your thoughts on this spotlights that I just shared, and the next episode of SFF Spotlight will take place probably in the first week of January. As always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support. Bye bye. Lastly, I want to say thank you so much once again to all my patrons who keep on supporting me.